Desert race teams need as much support as possible, especially when they're out in the middle of nowhere. Today, we're going to help one of those teams by turning this Raptor SVT into the ultimate chase truck. Man, I'm excited about the project. Yeah, we're all on the same page. That's the best part, man. All right.
Nice.
Very cool.
Loving it.
I'm kind of on the phone.
You're always on the phone. It's okay. I'm used to it.
Hey, you know who just walked in, so let me roll before this gets complicated. All right, see you, bro. Boom.
This is a 13?
Yeah, 13 SVT Raptor, right?
Nice.
We can do big things to this.
Yeah, I'm thinking some big performance mods. A new supercharger in this thing will really make it come alive. This thing is going to be awesome.
Ordinarily, I would agree with that, and I think that's a great idea. However, this particular time around, you know, I told you about my buddies with the desert race team,
Oh,
right?
yeah, okay.
That was them on the phone, right? They said, look, they sent the truck over. We need a chase vehicle is what they need for the
Cool.
guys out there doing the competition and all that, search and rescue mission, right? So that's what I think we should do with this.
That is awesome. I'm fired up about it because this has a ton of potential. I mean, it's like halfway there already.
Yep.
It's got a lot of suspension mods already done to it, but for them, I think the biggest thing is going to be making it practical. You know what I mean? Lots of light. We're going to need some kind of storage thing off the back to be able to carry all the gear. This is going to be a cool project.
You said the key word too, practicality, because practicality out there is impractical everywhere
Yes, it
else,
is.
and that is exactly what we're all about.
Because you are completely impractical 90%
Let's
of
start
the time.
tearing up this nice truck.
Yeah, I like the color too, man. This looks good. So the first order of business for us on this Raptor is to give it a bit of a performance upgrade, and the way we're going to do that is by swapping out the old restrictive exhaust with the brand new kit we've got. This is going to be a catback system which will help get rid of this restrictive muffler, let this thing breathe a whole lot better.
Plus, we've done a lot of exhausts over the years. Catback, nice and simple, right? This should come out nice and easy. And we're going to leave this in here because the truck is going to do some street driving. So we want to stay within the parameters of all the emissions rules and regulations and all that. We don't want to get any hassle, right? So
Yeah, especially on a vehicle that's this nice and this pricey, we want to make sure that he has no issues.
we'll stay legal.
You know, one of the things you want to do is go ahead and spray these hangers with some lubricant so they'll slide back out on both the front and the back. This should pretty much come out in one big chunk.
Got it, Hoss?
Yeah. All
right, let's
do a
fish
little
that.
rotate here.
Fish that around. Here, dude. There you go.
I think they make these things heavier nowadays.
Oh, you're just getting older.
You think that's it? With the old exhaust system out of the way, now it's time to put in our new exhaust system we got from the guys at Borla. This is the Catback S-Type exhaust system specifically engineered for the Ford Raptor 150.
Yeah, this will get the job done. I mean, it's all aircraft grade T304 stainless, mandrel bends all the way through. It's got a straight flow through design. They got studies showing 13% increase in airflow going through this thing. So that's going to help out, and it's got a great sound.
You know, and the thing is the sound, now it sounds good from the outside. Inside the cab, you don't hear it, so you can carry on a normal conversation, which is a huge bonus. You know, this entire kit, everything you get from Borla is always engineered, designed, and built right here in the United States. The nice thing about it when it comes to assembling it, it all bolts into your factory mounting locations. No cutting, no welding, it goes together quick. It's time to get this thing together.
I like it. So you get it steady, right?
Yeah.
So we'll start building this from the front to the back. We'll do the muffler first and then lay everything else back in. So Borla supplies us with all the hardware that we need for everything, but this clamp is actually tacked onto the pipe, so we're going to reuse that one, and then we'll hang everything else from the back. So let me hold this, dude.
So the next up is the back part here where it tails off. Now it's going to do the same thing like it did before, where it's going to come out the sides, but instead of having just some stainless steel tubing coming out the ends, check out those polished stainless steel ends right there. Those are going to look cool. This thing's going to sound good. Just a matter of piecing the puzzle together.
What we're going to do is just kind of assemble everything, keep it loose, and then once everything is hung and in place, we can come back down here and tighten up all the clamps, and we'll be done. Nothing to it. Not a problem. Step one is done. Nice.
Sounds pretty good, right?
It does, and we can still hang out and have a conversation.
Yeah,
right?
nice.
All right, now it is time to move on to phase number 2 as far as the performance upgrades go. And we're going to do that with the X4 Power Flash from SVT. See, basically putting on that boiler exhaust, that was great, right? That was Thunderdome, but we want to go beyond Thunderdome. You know the deal, and that's how we're going to do it.
I know what you're saying, Mad Max.
Exactly. But look, we have to let the engine know so we can communicate with everything else on the computers, and that way the truck knows the exhaust is back there and we can live up to the full potential.
Yeah, putting the exhaust on was step 1 to give us a definite improvement. Step 2 is programming it to take full advantage. So you simply go to programming the vehicle and it'll take you through a bunch of different defaults to make sure that you haven't changed any of the parameters on the truck. Stuff like tire size, like right here it tells you this is for a 6.2 F-150. It's already got a preloaded tune in here for power adding. And it'll take us through, make sure you have the right tire size and all that stuff in place. Once you approve all of that, you simply hit the button and it will start programming it for you. It's just that simple.
We need to take a break right now, but when we come back, we can actually start making this truck look like a chase car.
And it's gonna look cool.
It is gonna look awesome. In 1999, if you found a running classic truck for $800, that was a pretty good deal. That is why Randy jumped at the chance to own this 1949 Chevy. The day he bought the truck, he drove it around the block, and that was the last time it ran for years. Once the restoration began, Randy promised his first grandson he would finish the project truck before his grandson could drive. And Randy would keep his promise. After 14 years of hard work, he took the truck to a few car shows and even won his first trophy in the best truck class. Randy knows the truck isn't perfect, but all he needs to hear is, "Here comes Grandpa with the cool old truck," and it makes it all worth it. Learn more about Randy's 49 Chevy or share your truck journey at lmctrucklife.com. Welcome back to Truck U. So thus far on our Raptor project, it's been all about performance. Now we got those things handled. They're all taken care of. Now it's time to go to the next step. Something Bruno loves, accessorizing.
Well, I do love to throw little accessories on here and there, but this is a whole different project. We're taking this to the next level, not the middle of the mall stuff you normally like. This is about necessitizing. What we want to do is really make this thing a full capable off-road desert vehicle so they can actually use this thing. So what we need to do is get all the old stuff out of the way because we got a bunch of new fun toys coming for this thing that I ordered up. So the old bumper's gonna come off, the skid plate, the bumper in the back, and we've got a whole new chase rack for this thing, which is really cool.
I appreciate your involvement on this project, especially last minute, but maybe we could get the parts here a little sooner next time. Yeah?
You know, it's his project, I'm helping out, I'm getting the grief for it. And the reason why this stuff's not here, just so you're asking, is because it's not stuff that's off the shelf. We're having custom stuff made for this vehicle. It's gonna be the real deal when it's all done.
I can still complain.
Yes, you can, and you will. Way. So our next order of business is to get the rear bumper off. The front is already taken care of. We got the new ones being made, and one of the things we need to be conscious of are these proximity sensors. We want to make sure they go back in the same place.
Yeah, and you don't just want to rip them because you don't want to have to buy new ones. And what we like to do is go ahead and clock them because they sit in there in a specific position. So when we put them back into the new bumper, which has been cut out to fit these in there, we want to clock them the right way. That way we don't confuse the computer and throw it into some kind of weird frenzy thing, right?
Yeah, so we put a little gray marker on the top, and that's going to go top side so they go back in the right way. We just had to get about 6 bolts off the back, and this thing should come off pretty easily, I hope.
There we go.
Got it? Don't scratch that paint.
It actually looks pretty cool without it. Truck looks a lot taller.
We had pulled off the factory bumpers, both front and rear, in anticipation for the new custom stuff to show up, and it just made it through the door. This is from Lex Off-Road, and this is the rear dimple bumper. And this thing not only does it look aggressive, but this is the real deal.
These are nice. They're CAD drawn. They're cut on CNC for a precise fit every time, so they go on nice and easy. Now here's the deal, and here's why we wanted a more rugged bumper for this vehicle on the rear and the front. I don't like to think about this thing getting beat up, right? You know, I mean, we're just working on it, but it's gonna happen out there in the desert, let's face it. So we want bumpers on this that are gonna hold up, and these will do the job.
Yeah, it's made of 2-inch mild steel tubing. You got 1/8-inch thick steel plates. It's all hand welded and hand built specifically for this truck. This thing is gonna be a nice addition. You know, the nice thing about it too is they go the extra mile in terms of the fabrication, so when you get it, the install is really easy. Hand tools, your own driveway, you can do it yourself. You don't have to have, you know, a master craftsman to install these things.
No, and we've got the mounting clips moved over for the backup sensors right there. So those are in place. This is going to be nice too. We got these LEDs that we got from Baja Designs, and these are going to mount up in this bumper. Anytime we work on a desert truck, we talk about the importance of lighting and being able to see. Not a lot of street lights out there in Baja, right?
Right.
So we want a bunch of these on the truck, and we're going to have some of those up front, back, all over the place.
Let's go inside the Duplicolor garage. Duplicolor, yes you can, in your garage.
One of the most neglected parts of any vehicle on the road is also one of the most important. I'm talking about the headlights. Now take a look at this. These look terrible, and it doesn't have to be that way, because in about 30 minutes we can restore that optical clarity, make them look like new, and get all that light back, and we're going to do it with this. It's the Duplicolor Headlight Restoration Kit. The first thing we had to do was tape everything off. That way we avoid any overspray. Now the Duplicolor Headlight Restoration Kit is a 2-can system. The first can is the polishing compound, so you spray that on, and we like to use a microfiber towel, and just like you're waxing a car, small circular motion, and you might have to do the step 2 or 3 times to get it back to normal, get it looking the way it is. The second can is a clear coat with Haze X technology, and what that is, it's a UV protector, so that's going to keep this light looking good. We've got these headlights looking like brand new. That was quick and easy, so quick in fact that we thought we'd dress up these tires a little bit before we send it out, and a great way to do that is with the Duplicolor Tire Shine. The Duplicolor Tire Shine is made with Shine Last technology, which means it's going to last up to 5 times longer than other top brands. So you know the deal is when you use any of these silicone tire shines and you put them on, the tire looks good, but as soon as you go through a car wash or it rains, it comes right off. That's not going to happen with the Tire Shine. This truck's got a lot of miles on it, but with very little time and very little money, we get the headlights looking like brand new, and the tires look great as well. This baby is ready to roll. For more information about the Headlight Restoration Kit or Tire Shine, be sure to check out Duplicolor's website. All right, nice and slow. Just drop it right there.
What's that, buddy?
Just kidding. Nice job on the machine there, Bruno.
Like you expect anything else.
No, that's good work. Hey, welcome back to Truck U. So before we went to break, we installed this rear bumper that we got from Lex Off-Road, along with those cool LED lights that we got from Baja Designs. Now that's all good. Now let's work our way back into the bed of the truck with something else that we got from Lex Off-Road. Look at this, man. The only thing I can think of here, Bruno, when I see this is nice rack, right?
You know, this is the real deal, man. This thing is no joke. It looks like a home gym, but it is a whole lot more than that. You know, this is going to give us the ability to securely tie down whatever you want when you're out on the Baja course. You know, when stuff's going to get nasty on gnarly terrain, this is going to keep it all in its place. So basically, where Matt's standing right there, and on the other side are spaces for 2 fully inflated tires. You put 2 batteries back here as power sources. Underneath here, you can securely tie down a jack, toolbox here, and just about anything else you can think to ratchet strap to this thing.
Dude, duct tape, zip ties, I mean, we can hang a world of things on this rack. Huh?
Duct tape, zip ties, if you have to, but let's just try and stick with the ratchet straps, all right?
I guess if you want to be all fancy. I mean, it is a Raptor.
No, this thing securely mounts to the frame of the truck itself. So you take the bolts out to the bed, it goes all the way through. It is part of the truck from this point moving forward, and it is a cool looking piece too.
When you're out in the desert and you're in a truck that's going to be doing the things that this will be doing, there are a couple of different things that are very important. One, you need to know where you're at and be able to locate yourself and the other people, right? And 2, you need to be able to communicate with your team. So we hooked up with the guys at PCI Race Radios, and they got us a couple of different products that are going to help us do both of those.
So they gave us a racing radio to hook up, and it's just a matter of finding the right location to mount it, so this way we can stay in constant communication.
Now, you know, it's really important because if you say, hey man, I got to pull over for a 10-100, you need to be able to tell the rest of the team, right?
That's a big 10-4.
Over. And with this, with the Lowrance GPS, you can actually let them know right where you're at. If you just go to the big box store and you buy a GPS system and you go a couple of feet off a main road, well, it's not going to help you out at all. This will actually tell you where you're at. You know, another cool thing about some of the big competitions, they have their tracks mapped out, and you can flash that right onto here, and then you've got the map for the whole thing. So that's pretty cool. Now, this came with a mount that'll get the job done, but if this truck's flying up and hitting some impact, you know, we're going to have to upgrade that mount a little bit. So we got with the guys at Outlaw Off-Road. They make this mount. This was not the stock one. This is the aftermarket mount right here, made specifically for this vehicle's dash and this particular unit. And you take a look at this. Boom, that's going to mount right up into some stock holes right up there.
That's a really nice piece right there.
And look at that. That is in there. That's solid, and that's not going anywhere.
You know, and it's in a great view. You know, you can see it while you're going on the road. You're not going to be obstructed. It's got a high resolution, so it will keep you going down the right path in the most obscure areas out in the desert. We can keep in communication. Now it's just a matter of wiring all this stuff up. And one thing I wanted to tell you guys is when you're talking about antennas, especially a coax cable like this to mount to the radio, you want to make sure that you do not coil it like this when it's installed. What it'll do is cause all kinds of issues. It'll fight with the antenna. So you can run it underneath the carpeting, run it underneath the seats, whatever you do, but just do not coil it up because it'll ruin that reception.
We have been using white diamond metal polish for many years now, right? It's been like a really good secret around the shop, but the secret's out now because now it's available in a lot of the major retail stores. So if you want our secret, head on into the store and just ask for it.
You know, the reason why we use it so much is the fact that it's easy to use and you will get a great shine whether you're talking about aluminum, stainless steel, chrome, or brass. But now White Diamond has expanded the product line a little bit. Now they've got a multi-purpose dressing, they've got a paint protectant as well as a quick detailer. So you can now completely detail your car, truck, or motorcycle by using nothing but White Diamond products.
And they've got the little wipes too, which make it even easier. Now keep in mind, the White Diamond is not only a polish, but it's also a sealant, which is going to make that shine last a long time.
Well, as part of that chase rack build, we have 2 big battery boxes we need to fill, and where we're going to turn to fill those boxes, Federated AGM. It's a great option if you're looking for a battery for anything from a car, truck, race application, power sports. They have got you covered. Now for that Raptor, we're going to turn to this AGM battery. And the reason why, dependability is key, especially when you're out in Baja. You want a battery that's going to get the job done, and this is going to do it. The reason why, it's got a premium glass mat design. It is more powerful and will last longer than a traditional flooded battery. It's got 20 times more vibration resistant, also twice the cycle life of those flooded batteries. So it's going to give you more power to all your electronic devices. For us, one thing that is really key, especially on gnarly terrain, it is spill proof and leak proof, and we are going to test this thing out, that is for sure. If you're looking for a power sports battery, they have got you covered with a premium option. Basically, if you're looking for a battery for any car or truck, they have got you covered there as well. And the best thing about it is all these batteries are available to you at any Federated Auto Parts store. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to load up more cool toys inside of that chase rack and actually take the thing out to the desert.
Got a failed injector diagnosis? It's likely that the problem is not that an injector's gone bad, but actually stiction in the injector. The extreme temperatures that are created in oil-fired injectors cause stiction. The injector will burn the oil, creating a residue that is sticky and causes friction. Stiction can cause the piston in the injector to hesitate just a fraction of a second, and that will trigger the failed injector code. You can replace your injector for about $1,000 a pop, or try a treatment of Hot Shot's Secret Stiction Eliminator for about $50. Since most failed injectors are suffering from stiction, Hot Shot's Secret Stiction Eliminator can restore 9 out of 10 failed injectors. This tip is brought to you by Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
How's it going there, B?
Good, man. You okay?
Yeah, I got a bolt through here. It's not going to go anywhere.
All right, this is a heavy
here we
piece.
go. Woo! Welcome back. Now, we came up here to the front of the truck and installed the front bumper, which really complements the one that we did in the back. When we took off the stock bumper, it came off in a couple different sections. You had the bumper and the skid plate. What's nice about this, I mean, you want a skid plate on a truck like this, you know that. But what's nice about this bumper is it's all one big heavy-duty piece, man.
It's a nice compact design. I mean, just the aesthetics of it alone I think are worth mounting up, but once again, it's the real deal, man. It is 2-inch mild steel. This thing's gonna take a beating. So we accented this with a 30-inch Baja Designs light bar, and the whole idea was to get as much light as we can out in the desert, both going from the front and the back, and I think we're covered there now. You know, it's got the spots and the floods. What's nice about this too is wiring it.
You know what's cool about this truck is the fact that the switches are already inside the cab. It's pre-wired. A lot of times people don't want to do additional lighting on the truck because they're like, oh, I got to do all that wiring. You don't have to in this truck. It's almost like they planned it. It's like they knew people were going to be doing this.
Yeah, those auxiliary switches are nice, man.
Which I think they did.
All right, why don't you finish bolting this down? I'll go ahead and start working on that rack.
I'm on it. All right, there. Perfect, right?
We can tie that down later.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about that right now. So we knew we needed some upgraded tires, so we got with the guys over at TiresEZ.com, and I said, look, here's the project that we're working on. Can you help us out? And they said, hey, man, I got just what the doctor ordered. I said, here's the issue. I'm going to need 6 of them. And they said, Matt, most people only ask for 4. So, you know, it's different around here.
Well, you know, with this truck, we got to make sure that we have everything you could possibly want or need out in the desert. You know, we got some extra power sources in terms of these 2 batteries. We got 2 spare tires, floor jack, anything else you could think of, a bunch of spare parts inside of here. Also, inside now we have the communications and the GPS, so we can stay in constant contact with the team and know exactly where we're at all times, because that thing is precise. And I was a little concerned going in, thinking that, well, you know what, it was going to be a little bit cumbersome to wire all that stuff up in terms of antennas, especially in a new truck, and you don't want to tear a whole lot of stuff apart. But it went together pretty quick.
But here's the deal. You know me. I am not going to sleep good tonight if we send this all the way back to them without doing a little field testing. It's like a fine wine. I don't want to send it out before it's time.
One thing you are is thorough, and I can appreciate that. You know, we need to take this thing out. We need to beat it up a little bit. I'm talking trash it before we get handed over, just so we know it can handle it.
No, just we need to drive it around a little bit. Let them do the trashing.
No trashing?
It's their truck. They own. When you're building a chase truck, you know you've got to test it out.
After we finished the work in the shop, we wanted to make sure we had the perfect looking desert wheel for the build. So we grabbed 6 of these beadlock matte black machine finish wheels from Method Race Wheels to give this rig a true desert look. These wheels look good and are going to hold up to all the punishment we're going to lay down.
I know this chase rack is functional and they need it to carry stuff out to the middle of nowhere and then hopefully back, but I think it looks awesome too. I mean, I would put this on my truck just to go to the mall. You know, it looks cool.
As we mentioned before, the stock Raptor SVT suspension is built for the desert, but with the performance upgrades we made with the Borla exhaust and the tuner, the extra horsepower is going to make a huge difference when the team is cutting through the sand.
Bruno, I almost hate to give the keys up on this build, but alas, that's what we've got to do, and we've got to get back to the shop. That's all the time we have. We'll see you guys next time right here on Truck U.
See ya.